So I really loved your short. It was short and
Oh, thank you so
beautiful.
much. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And I was very impressed by how, right from the beginning, we're introduced to Renato, and you said
Hmm.
that he's a man at the end of his rope. And so he has
Yeah.
nothing to lose, so he tries to do this crazy, wild thing by putting lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
How were you able to establish his state of mind right from the beginning to make him try and do this crazy thing?
Yeah. Well, I think you have to think about this in a way that makes you understand the context. I don't want to say too much about the story, especially the second part of the story, just to avoid spoilers.
Yeah.
But we are in the Renaissance time, so it's a time when probably a man of science is not very much taken in consideration as a genius, or actually they started to be considered geniuses, but not as we think about them today. So I needed to establish that this guy is actually out of society, is not considered as a genius. So the very first draft of the script was very much about pride and him wanted to get recognition for his discovery or his like journey into science. So basically at the beginning worked very much about with the set in the first scene, because from his table, the one you have in on your background, uh, I needed it to be very clear that he's a man of science, and you can see a lot of objects and tools and different colors, and the fact that it's very messy. So he's supposed to be kind of Leonardo da Vinci kind of guy. So yeah, I think it was the most difficult part, the first shot, and it's the first one I animated. So it was actually quite difficult to achieve that kind of feeling and that kind of storytelling from the first shot.
Yeah, it's quite tricky because he's not a young man. He's an older man.
No, no, definitely, definitely. He's an old man. He went through a lot probably in his life, and now is he embarked in this journey that is probably the most important experiment is he ever made, because he is he's doing what he's doing for a good reason, and for him the most important reason, that we discover in the second part of the film. So yeah, it's an interesting character in my opinion, and I hope this is the feeling you have from the first shot.
Yeah, and I love, when he's experimenting, he's taking a bit too much because something you discussed is sometimes it's hard to tell if someone is doing it out of pride or if they have a good reason.
Mhm. Yeah.
And after a while, you wonder why is he doing what he's doing because he's taking so much pain. And this is
Yeah.
pain than pride would allow.
Yeah, he really needs a good reason to do what he's doing, and I hope from the second part of the film, this all waiting to understand what he's doing, because at the beginning it might look just like funny guy, just he's doing this and this is just a comedy film, and you see a slapstick kind of comedy. He's not getting where he want to go, but in the second part you understand what he's doing, and why he's doing it. So I think the audience will have a sort of relief, understand, oh, this is why he's doing it, so this now makes sense. It's not just a funny guy falling and getting in trouble.
Yeah, I think the way you design him as well, like I didn't actually take it as a comedy. I took it as like drama because he's so sad and he's so like in
Yeah.
touch. Like there's this sense of urgency and you're like, where is he running to?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you, first of all. The design was probably one of the funniest parts of the pre-production, because, by the way, I didn't have any experience in animation and in stop motion animation in puppet making before this experience. So I kind of learned by doing it. And I had a couple of friends. I come from a comic book background, and I had a couple of friends in comics that helped me out with the design because I cannot draw at all. So I had friends helping me, and when I had the final character design, I had to figure out how to actually make it. So it ended up being a bit different from the design, but I kept the most important part of the character, and I think it's about the eyes mainly. And I wanted this kind of feeling from the beginning. Is the probably one of the few indications I gave to the character designers. I wanted the like pins eyes that I love from comic books. And I think it worked very well with the expressiveness of the character.
Yeah, you feel like he could be anyone's dad, like the way his mustache
Yeah,
up and down, and there's something so warm about him in the way you design,
yeah.
and I thought it was quite lovely.
There we go.
Oh,
I had it in another room because yesterday I started to repair it
yeah,
because it will come with me in New York.
yeah.
Oh, it's kind of blurred. Okay.
Yeah, if you move it, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Uh,
it's
and you can basically move every single part of this face. You
yeah.
can take things off and move the eyebrows or the mustaches,
Wow.
and everything is animatable. Because in some of the scenes, especially the one outside with the wind and everything moving, I needed to have every single part animatable. It was a real struggle, but I think the result is kind of nice.
I think his journey shows like why you do something is actually more important than how you do it. You mentioned stop
Yeah,
motion. That's intense. That's like the most intense.
yeah, it
And
is.
so as an artist, like how do you decide which medium is appropriate for which story? Like you could have done this as a comic book, but you didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, this story, I wrote this story very quickly to apply for the Artman Academy, which is where I made this short. And luckily, I had a lot of support because, as I said, I didn't have any experience before, so I needed people showing me how to do things. Um, and honestly, I don't know why I chose to do it in stop motion. It just felt like the right medium to me. As I cannot draw, as I said, I cannot do it everything by myself when it comes to comic books or 2D animation. Um, Stop motion after I applied for the Armor Academy when I was in film school, like live action stuff, and I wanted to do something by myself.
Mm.
To the animation comic books, I always need an artist helping me. In this case, with stop motion, it just kind of made sense, and I could do it all by myself, which is after a couple of months, I realized probably wasn't the best idea because it's really time consuming. But I loved it from the first moment, and I'm very happy I did it in stop motion.
Wow. There's a moment in the second half, I don't want to ruin it, but where you realize why it's all worth it.
Yeah.
There's this kind of like smile that I don't want to ruin it, but it's just like a
Mhm.
moment. And I want to know for you, like, when do you get the most satisfaction out of your work, especially now that you're going to Tribeca?
Uh, I think after finishing the film, the last I think 3 weeks were crazy because I was very behind schedule and I had to rush it. And in a weird way, I think they are the best shots because I did it without thinking too much. And at the beginning, I started from the first shot. Now seeing it, I can see that it's not the best shot in terms of animation because again, I didn't know what I was doing, and it's the longest shot, so I had to stop every day and take it from the point I was the day before for I think 4 days. I think it took me 4 days to animate the first shot because it's like 50 seconds. Um, and then the last shots, the shots in the middle are animated better, but I did them many times because I wasn't satisfied with the animation because I was starting to understand when something is well animated. In the end, I didn't have time to think too much, so I rushed them, and I'm very proud of those shots. They are the ones in outside and on the hills. And when I finished those shots, and I could start the post production, and then I finished the post production. And again, I didn't know what I was doing. I've been helped a lot. And when it was done, it was such a relief and a nice feeling because I'm very much over critical about my work.
Mm.
And for the first time, probably in my career, I was very proud of what I've done. And we had a screening in Arman with all the films from the Academy. And it was very good to see all the films, all very, very great achievements. But I was very proud of mine. And this doesn't happen very much to me. So I think it was just a great feeling to realize that I'd done something good in my very humble opinion. But then getting recognition from festivals and Tribeca is, of course, a great, great, great achievement. I think that's very. It's a nice feeling.
Yeah, I love I mean, I don't want to spoil it, but I felt the emotional connection when the eyebrows go up and the eyes
Mhm.
go up. And for me, I don't know about the technicalities. All I know is what I feel. And I felt,
Yeah, yeah, that's what it's interesting to me at least.
and finally, I love the contrast between the priest and
Hmm.
Renato because people are willing to believe in miracles, but not their own
Yeah,
dream, which I think is funny.
yeah.
And so, how do you maintain your own belief? I mean, you went into stop motion, not knowing a thing, and you made something you probably didn't think you could make.
No, definitely, definitely.
Then how does that encourage you going forward?
I think there is a good part of ignorance because when I start something I don't know how to do, it's a nice feeling because I like to learn. I like learning new things, but I'm also an overthinker. So the moment I start thinking too much about something, I lose control. In order to keep my dreams alive, I just need to do something new very often. And now I finished this film in stop motion actually 1 year ago almost. Now I want to go back to live action and comic books. I'm writing new comic books. I'm trying to find producers for a couple of short film in live action. So in the last 5 years, I think I started to open as many doors as I could for myself. Now I have kind of a range of skills that I wanna play with in different environments, in different also genres, because I love writing for kids, especially for books, comic books, and animation. But when I write for live action, for example, I'm very dramatic, always with some comedy in it. But my brain works in a very different way. So I think keeping my creativity alive means trying different things every time.
Wow, very well said. Well, I'm excited for you to see the reaction from the audience because it's 4 minutes, but it snuck up on me. It was really beautiful.
Yeah, many people told me that it feels like a longer film.
Yeah,
There are many things happening, so when it's done, you don't realize that it's just being 4 minutes.
yeah. But it's like you use the time very efficiently. And again, I don't know about the technicalities, but I felt very emotionally attached to that little old man.
No, thank you, thank you. The original script was for a film that at the beginning I think it would have been like 8 minutes, almost the double time. The story is the only part that I knew how to work with because of my background in writing. But it's also the one with I struggled the most because it was too long and not knowing what stop motion was
Hmm.
precisely made me write a story with two more characters and a longer story with a lot of different choices in terms of directing and camera angles. And then I realized, luckily, I had people in the academy giving me suggestions about that, and I cut half of the film. Not in terms of scenes or characters, except for one. There was a father also, but I just managed to make it more effective, which was a great lesson because especially in stop motion, also filmmaking live action or 2D animation, you have to be very efficient. But in stop motion, it's even more important because it takes forever and you need to build your things. In order to put them in front of a camera. So I was always very late, but somehow I managed to make it effective.
Yeah, stop motion is a kind of torture. It's uh
Yeah,
it's a type
yeah,
of
you have to be crazy to do it.
you have to be mad and very patient and very if you're
Uh,
a person that's very into details, which I think you are, you notice
yeah.
everything and it's just nothing but bad things.
Yeah, imagine if half of the way I realized I don't liked it, it would have been a disaster because you really need to love what you're doing in order to get a nice result in stop motion. You cannot be like lazy. You need to be very picky, and it's thinking about those 3 months of animation. It feels like another life, but I learned a lot, and it's gonna be very helpful for my future career, remembering all the struggles in for my first film.
Yeah, the patience was worth it in the end.
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
Well, Marco, it was very lovely to meet you.
Yeah, it was a pleasure to meet you, and thank you for giving me the chance to talk about my film.